What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? Let's talk about it, the problems we face. Let's fight hatred, no time to waste. The mind is naked, we can see it without an x-ray. Life is easy if we work together. We're the keepers, we're the people, we're all equal, filled with purpose. The past has pain, it'll drive you, even make you take aim. But together is where we should aim. Together is where we should. What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do?
You're listening to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. Yeah, I want to do it again. What's going on, man? What's going on, everyone? I'm excited to be back on the show because we had World Superbike that just started this past week, or this happened this past weekend. Excited to talk about that. We got MotoGP coming up in France, Le Mans. Zarco was looking good this past round. So excited to hear about what these guys think and what's going to happen this round, how much weather is going to play a part in it. But before we dive in the show, I want to thank all the listeners that are liking, subscribing, commenting. We appreciate it. Please continue to do that. Also, check out our Patreon page and become a member. Costs $1 a month to become a member, $12 a year to continue to give you some of this great entertaining motorcycle podcast. Also, check out Woodcraft. Go to Woodcraft, his website. We have a link that's going to pop up here to with a QR code that you can scan. You can, the code is Rexy, so definitely use that. It helps grow the show as well, helps you as well, because it shows that you're in tune, you're engaged, you're locked in, and you're getting the skinny on some really cool and great racing parts, because the rear sets, their bar handles, their clip-ons, helps if you crash a lot. You know what I'm saying? Having products that you can easily repair your bike and get back out before you miss another race, or kill your day is always good. So being able to connect with a manufacturer that also races, that's in the game, they also teach as well as make race parts, is pretty cool. Also, check out Mark 10 Motorsports as well. Mention Rexy45 with the Be Forever Cool podcast. Get hooked up with some Pirelli race tires, especially in the Florida area. Again, all purchases help grow the show. And if you're enjoying what you're doing, what you're hearing, while we're enjoying what we're doing, it helps us even do more as you're going to be seeing the Be Forever Cool podcast at more Motor America rounds and stuff like that. All this stuff really helps grow, and we have some cool things coming down the pipeline. Excited to chop it up with the guys. Enough of all the public service announcement stuff. Let's check in with the guys and see what they're doing. TJ, man, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. You know, our Celtics has come to an end. I know we always talk about sports leading up on my end, but now that's all over. So now I'm just diving into racing. I must say it is cool to watch a race weekend, follow another race weekend. So it's feeling good that every weekend we can almost start watching racing. So looking forward to it.
You know, I normally would bring up the Celtics when they win, or the Patriots, or Boston team, and I purposely didn't. And since you brought it up, I have to
I
say
had to get out the way.
I'm a little. I'm sure they're disappointed, and I'm pretty sure no one is more disappointed than the players. Than the fans can never be more disappointed than the players, right? But your coach just won Coach of the Year, and you got the pretty much the best record in the East. If I don't know the stats, but either the best for one or two in the East, and you get blown out in the first round. That's like Djokovic losing the first round when he was young, or Nadal or Alcaraz as far as tennis. Some of these boxers that I can go on and name names.
Yeah.
That's
I was going to say, it's tough being a Boston fan. A lot of people hate us, but we got a lot of championships. And I mean, like, we saw the Patriots go undefeated and lose in the Super Bowl. So these things do hurt, but I know we'll be back next year. I know we didn't expect us to go this far because we didn't have Tatum to start the season, and we started doing really well. So, it is what it is. But
I appreciate you talking about the rings and stuff that we have, but Reese is gonna say, you're only as good as your last win. So I'm just saying.
Hey, I have to say it all before he jumps on. I know he's back there smiling.
No doubt. Reese, welcome to the show, man. What's good?
That's good, man. Yeah, you knew I was smiling. Hey, Celtics lost. Sixers had to take it. Philly at heart, from Jersey, so gotta go with the home team.
You know what the worst thing is? And I think you can appreciate this because you're a Philly fan. But you get blown out by the Knicks by like 40-something points. The Knicks.
I plead the fifth. I'll plead the fifth with that one.
As a boss, I'm sitting here like, and the Knicks, it's like, come on, what happened? It's listen, as you know, I don't have to tell you, and I appreciate the humor. At the highest level, all it takes is just one heartbeat off to change everything. So
that's it. One heartbeat, one tenth of a second, anything's going to change everything, man. It's going to either you win or lose. That's it.
Yeah. So it is what it is. So what's good, man? You excited for all this racing that's happening? And you heard DJ say it's nice to see this, back-to-back weekends. I think last year we got spoiled with so much racing, and having the Qatar rounds can't reschedule. Really kind of show like, man, we need lives because when there's still racing happening.
We do. We need racing happening, man, because when there's nothing, boy, it's like winter. It's like stale. You're like, what the hell? Like, it just feels like a decade of waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So it's nice to have racing back on, from everybody. It's ready to, it's kind of like almost ramping it up season for everybody. It's kind of nice.
No, definitely. I'm definitely excited about it. So let's jump into it. Bellaton Park, our second year in Hungary. The crowd looked a lot better. They say it's the Bulaga show, but it's I mean, it's his to lose. Doing really well. I mean, he's broken, Top Rock's record and everybody's record for most wins in a row, and he seems like he'll continue and stuff like that. But let's talk about just the weekend in general, because it is a tricky track. It's one of the smaller tracks. I don't know if you guys have been to Blackhawk or maybe even Jennings or Little Talladega. I think that's what they call it. The Peloton Park is one of the smaller tracks, so we also saw some mishaps. We'll talk about Oliveira. What were your thoughts, TJ, overall on the weekend?
I mean, it was definitely a good show. I thought the Super Bowl race was a dogfight, so I think that was a really good race. But overall, for the situations that happened, Bulaga took advantage, and now he's still killing it every round. Like as we said way back in time, that's going to be his show. But that is a very fast track. It is small, but there's a lot of hard braking as well. And there's a lot of fighting out there. Even in the super sport class, a lot of guys just bumping and rubbing elbows, and it was definitely a fight out there. But as far as the super bikes, Bulaga ran the show.
Yeah, he did, man, for sure. Reese, man, what you thought of the weekend overall? And it was a dogfight. I mean, I think even in the race 1, 2 as well. I think the top or the bottom. It was the bottom 2 to 8, 10 riders are really trying to fight for that third place. Right. I mean, there's a good amount of riders that's seeing that third place, trying to fight for that third place. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, overall, it was a good race. I caught the replay, race 1 and 2. So I believe it was a hell of a race for everybody. I mean, of course, like you said, it is Bulaga's to lose. So, I mean, he has done very well, very exceptional. So, I mean, the Ducatis look very, very strong. I mean, I think they were like top 4 or top 3. So they do look very, very strong. Come race 2, I told him I would do this for him, and I give a shout out to my old guy Garrett for taking top 5. But he looked very strong, so I definitely give it, him his flowers were to do. So congratulations to my man Garrett.
I agree with you on Garrett, man. I'm trying to zoom in to get these the scoring. World Superbike, you guys got to do something better than a PDF, man. I mean, y'all are a little bit more than that, man. I mean, I'm like, where's the zoom button at too? I don't want to get the wrong places, but let's talk about Garrett for a little bit, guys, because it was really good. We've been giving him not a hard time, but I think we've been giving him a fair time on the show in the sense that we've been more giving Kawasaki a hard time, because it's like, how do you have a factory manufacturer bike doing worse than someone that's taking your engine and putting it into their frame and chassis and so forth. So for him to see him riding the way he's riding, and it's not to attrition of anyone else getting taken out or anything like that. I mean, if there was more time, he probably could have even gotten further. I don't know if he would have caught the first 2 Ducatis, but it might have been the first place. What are your thoughts, TJ, and how Gerloff did?
No, I really like how he rode this weekend, and just like Reese says, I give him congrats. I know one thing is when I watch World Superbike, it's not really just to watch Bulaga. It's kind of just to see, someone from the U.S. And Garrett is one of my favorite riders in World Superbike. So it's good to see him improve, especially when he doesn't have like the support with other teammates and stuff like that. So yeah, for him to especially race 2, the way he got a good start and was already like top 5 or top 8, and he was able to hold it the whole length of the race and finish 5th. So. I give him congrats. Hopefully that helped him go into the next round. But yeah, I always root for Garrett.
That's what's up. What do you want to add to that, Reese, before we kind of dive further into into the overall weekend. He's your guy. You got him on the phone, so you're shouting out. What else you have got to say?
I mean, I give Garrett every credit he's due. I know it's tough over there. I know those guys ride hard. I know, he's been in some tough situations, but I know Garrett's mentality. Garrett's one to never back down. He's never to quit. I've been watching Garrett since he came into the paddock. Back in what was that super stock 600 days with Graves. I started with him and Graves, so you know, I know Garrett's mentality. He's never going to quit. He's never going to back down. So the way he rode this weekend, he could have definitely got up there with those guys a little bit. And I hope he can build on his momentum to, this past weekend for the next round and, do something else with it. It's nice to see an American up there. I mean, we do have some American people over there, overseas, but it's nice to get, one of our guys up there. And, it's definitely going to be nice to one day to get one of those guys on the podium to actually see that American flag draped behind them and maybe even get the win and hear our national anthem play.
Right. I agree. I hope Kawasaki renews. And I hope he stays. If he does, I think I saw recently that it looks like he got married, and not to his bike. So it would have been, for some of us might want to see him get married to the bike instead. But I do hope that he does get to stay because it is very important for us to see an American in World Superbike, possibly MotoGP in the future. It's good for motorcycle racing in America. To see that. I mean, it's tough when you're the only one doing it, though. You know what I mean? So, maybe Joe Roberts will come over at some point, so maybe there'll be a couple other folks in there and whatnot. But, let's talk about race one. We talk about Super Bowl a little bit. I know it's easy to say it's a Bulaga show, but I mean, like looking at the time, Ika is close. Right. I mean, he per fastest lap, he's not that far behind. Getting better qualifying time, more seat time on the bike, maybe a little fewer mistakes. I mean, this could turn into a real dogfight in a few rounds. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah. So the whole all the rounds leading up to now, I mean, Ika Lakaona's been right there. I just don't know if he is ready to he got the pace, but to the Bulaga pace, I'm not sure. I feel like if he was able to jump in front of Bulaga, I think Bulaga would have an extra step to get by him. So I don't know. I think he's right there, but I don't know. He's got to do something else to try to get past Bulaga. I don't know if his race starts are not as good. I haven't really checked that out, but going into turn one, I'm not sure if he's top five or not, but he's definitely pulling out the pace with the times. He can definitely hang in the front, and he's finishing second place in most of the races. So I don't know if he can lead out in front for all those laps. I don't know if that's a setback.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Reese? On can Ika Lukoono catch him? I'm trying to pull up the times, but this system is very archaic. With the zoom in and zoom out. But what are your thoughts? Because I mean, looking at the times, the fastest lap 138. 0.569 for Bulaga, fastest lap for Ika 138.648. So he you know what I'm saying? I mean, if he just ate a little bit less. What are your thoughts, man?
I'm gonna have to quote, our guy Lewis. It's always not. It's easy to do one fast lap. It's easy, but you got to be able to do that lap consistently, constantly. That's one. Number two, it's definitely easier to what we call chase the rabbit. When you have to chase that rabbit, it's a little easier. But when you're out front and you are being chased, it's a little different story. You know, it's a little different story because you're the one hitting the marks first,
Right.
versus I'm following your line, and I know you're fast. So if I can follow your line or get into your draft or anything like that, it's a little bit easier. But actually being in the lead, yeah, it's a little different story. It's a little bit more pressure. It's a little bit different, lines. And then, you're out there, you're just solo dolo. Can you keep that pace for every lap or push it? Can you manage your tires? Can you do certain things? There's a little different. But, I mean, he does look good. We'll see what happens next coming here.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. You know, when you said rabbit, I just think of that scene in Snatch when down the country and rabbit's proper.
I mean, that's the case.
But yeah. I mean, look. In race 2, Bulliger finished 2.5 seconds in front of him with a little bit of change. That's not bad. I mean, this is 18 laps, 21 laps. 21 laps.
Yeah.
And the guy, he's tenths of a second quicker every lap, and it's adding up. I mean, is this where, and we'll start with Reese first. Is this where you're going to your guy and you just looking at data at this point? I mean, because is it in the data or is it in the rider? Is there something the rider can do different to? I mean, is it like, okay, boy, he messed up in this lap in these areas, so maybe if he fixed that, he may only be 2 seconds behind. What when you're chasing? I don't want to say that much time, but when you're chasing 2.5 seconds over the course of 21 laps. Like, where do you start to look?
I mean, sometimes it could be the rider. It could be a change up this section here, change up this little bit here. Less brakes here, more gas here. Certain little things that could be, that could play a factor. You could be, there's certain sectors you could be, not as good. You're not hitting the lines properly. If you're coming through the S's or you're coming through this turn, you may not be as sharp as you are in sector 2, 3, or 4, how many sectors there are, or, wherever it's at. Sometimes, honestly, hate to call it out, but sometimes you could just be a bitch in that section. You could be. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, it just all comes down to it, especially if the bike is dialed in properly to where you need it to be, and there's no more that you can do in that section, because as everyone knows, if you do certain things in this for the bike over here for this section, you may take away from this section. So you got to be able to, as a rider, to learn how to adapt, to almost sometimes try to ride around. If it's little problems, you got to try to learn how to ride around it.
Okay, all right. I'm hearing that. I mean, you heard that as well, TJ. I mean, I don't know if Reese is taking into consideration that. I mean, Ika's only had 3 rounds on his bike, and he's 2.5 seconds. When you see something like that, is it just say give him more time? Just give him some more rounds. And he'll be there by the end of the season if he doesn't touch the bike, or is it do we start looking where we can shave off the 2.5 seconds?
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is chase the rabbit right now, like Reese said, and hopefully can make Bullock a break. I mean, the best chance was in the Super Bowl, but unfortunately it was a red flag. Yeah. But I think at this point I don't know if he's looking at data. He's probably going to have to compare some way or another to see what he can do. But I didn't expect anyone to be this close to Bulliger, to be honest. So it's good to see that Ika's like right behind him, because even in race 1, Miguel finished 12 seconds behind Bulliger. So, the gap was pretty large between 1 and 2. But I think if he just stay where it is, continue what he's doing, and just stay on his ass basement, and I feel like he'll be able to pull a string.
Right. So so let me ask this, and I'm gonna put this to both of you guys. If you're Ika Luku owner, do you just say, look, My first year on the bike. Let me just finish second place all year. Let me not mess up Bulaga's championship. Let me just give it to him, icing on the cake. Learn this bike, finish second place, because I'm gonna be the guy next year. He's gonna be the man next year, right? He's gonna be the man. I mean, like we see Montella, we see Lowe's. We see what Baldassari's doing, which is amazing. I'm excited for that. But these guys are not as close as Ika is to Bulaga. What are your thoughts, TJ? And then we'll go back to Reese. Does Ika chill?
I mean, I don't think any rider thinks that way. Obviously, when things start to set in, it is what it is. But I don't think he got it. I think he got it, but I don't think that he has that little extra step to pass Bulaga. I think he just needs to figure him out more, I would say. I would just want to say, like, in a race when Bulaga fell back, it's kind of like a Marc Marquez effect. Basically, he found his way back to the front. I just haven't seen that out of Nico Lecuona yet. So, it's that little extra out of the rider that he just needs to find. So I don't think he needs to be content and just be like, all right, let's just stay second all year and then it'll be my year. But I just don't think. I think Bulaga got it right now.
Okay, all right, Reese, man, you're up next, and you're in a similar situation, so be careful what you say. Because you got you're in a similar situation. JD starts to shave some time off. So what goes on for that rider that's like close to the number one guy? Do you chill and say, all right, my man's leaving, I'm good. Next year he's gonna go to MotoGP some way somehow. So, or do you try to seize the bull by the horn this season and just say, look, man, if I can steal a couple of rounds, you never know. By the end of the season, I might only be a couple of races behind.
As Luz would say, no, because we're all racing for money. We're racing points here. At this point in time of the season, it's still early. So if I can't make a clean pass, yes, I'm going to settle for second. But if I can make a clean pass and I know I could get up ahead of this guy, oh, the hell with that. All bets are off, man. I'm going for the win because you ain't paying my bills. I got to win. Now, if I can't make a clean pass and I know it's his, I'm going to let him have it. Like at this point in time with Ika, he knows he's not faster than Bulaga, but he's just as quick. So the best thing for Ika is if you have to stay behind Bulaga, stay behind him, learn, gain as many points, because it could be a time Bulaga could screw up or a bike could, have a mechanical failure or something like that, and you're right there to seize the bull by the horn.
All right. I like that. All right, we're gonna see that. And I said like that was kind of last year too, when also Bobby came on. So you might 2 years in a row. You're gonna have to stay consistent now.
Hey, you can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink it.
All right. Lewis, you probably knew we were going to be talking about Bulaga and how close Ika is, and you just didn't want to just subject your ears to that kind of violence. So it's good, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Out here in Cali working. That's why I'm a little late because the time difference from the East Coast to the West Coast had me messed up a little bit. But this past weekend, Ika did show like he's there, but he's not 100% there, but he's there. Like if Bulaga makes a mistake, he's going to pick up the pieces. The question is, when is Bulaga going to make a mistake? Because right now, outside of one or two, maybe three times that he's had issues this year, he seemed untouchable. He seemed like he's racing in one race and everybody else is racing in a different series.
Is it safe to say that Ika kind of showed him that he has to be flawless? You got to be MJ.
Yeah, but
and by the way,
Ika's
I'm only 3 rounds on the bike that you've been on for 3 years too. By the way, that has to be
Yeah, but he's on the best bike. Let's be honest, man. By far, it's the best bike. You know, when he was on Honda, he wasn't doing this, and he was not on the best bike. He was doing well, but he wasn't doing this. So being on the best bike does help you quite a bit to stay up there. But you still have to, you know, be consistent. You know, let's see let's see if Ika has the same kind of consistency that Bulaga has, because Bulaga shows up every weekend with that swagger where it's like, I'm winning this weekend. Ika shows up every weekend like that swagger that I hope Bulaga lets me pass him, or I hope Bulaga makes a mistake. That's not the swagger you want. You got to show up with, I can win this weekend too.
Right. And I think he's showing up like that. I mean, I think that, you know, we you know, there's enough riders that we can talk about that haven't gotten year 2 on a bike to really show their potential on a bike. And I think that for Ika, you know, he has to understand, like, I only have a few months on this bike. So I think, you know, I don't know if he has enough to I think he has enough to beat him by the end of the season. Is it going to be a little bit too late to win a championship?
No, it's not. It's going to be, it's already too late to win a championship. Like that, this championship, unless, knock on wood, unless something dramatic happens where Bulaga has a major injury. Because remember, there's not as many rounds in World Superbike as there is in MotoGP.
Right.
There's a lot less rounds to make points. I mean, right now, the way it's looking, Bulaga might win the championship with 4 races left in the season. Not 4 races, sorry, 4 weekends left in the season.
Right.
So that's how many? That's 12 races between the race 1, the Super Pole race, and the race.
Right.
Like, he might actually win with still 12 actual races left in the season, which is insane, man.
No, it is. You know, we'll see. So, we'll go back around the horn. So we discussed Bulaga and Ika. But let's talk about the other. Well, we'll go back to the other Ducatis because you brought up a good point about 12 rounds. You know, before the last round, I said Petrucci had to do something. He had the potential in race 1 to do something. Unfortunately, didn't work out well for him, and got penalized by it and stuff like that. We see that Oliveira was taken out, no fault. Like, you know, how much bad luck can Oliveira have? And we'll start with TJ. And then at the same time, looking at where BMW was before that accident, you know, they were starting to kind of show a little bit of good stuff. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, BMW definitely starting to show something, and I was kind of looking forward to seeing what they can do this round with the momentum they had. I think race 1, Petrucci got hit or something like that, or I believe that happened. But the Super Pole, just no fault of his own, just being there, just getting hit by another bike. And it's crazy that, you know, he was the only one that really injured out of that situation when it was like 2 or 3 bike accident.
Yeah.
But it's just the luck that he has. Like, I thought that it would stay with MotoGP and hopefully wouldn't carry over into World Superbike. But hopefully this is just a fluke. Hopefully it gets well soon. I know he's going to miss the next round in Czech. But
yeah, he might.
It's unfortunate.
It is completely unfortunate. What are your thoughts, Reese, man, on BMW, the accident, just the ups and downs, I guess?
I mean, I've always said this, and I've had an argument with people online and everything else about BMW. BMW is a great bike. It is fast, but sitting outside of Top Rack, when has BMW been up there? You know, they've had their problems. I've heard from Cam last year that bike wanted to kill him.
Yes, it's a good bike, but it still has its issues, has its problems, has its certain things they gotta fix. With Oliveira, that's Oliveira. It's just the name has a target on his back, but Oliveira, either he's gonna take somebody out or somebody's gonna take him out. It's the way his luck is drawn, you know. It is what it is, and it's sad, but, you know, glad he's, hopefully he gets well and, can return here shortly.
Right.
It.
Lewis, man, what are your thoughts on BMW? Oliveira's bad luck continues. I mean, him and Alex Rins need to be lifeguards. Lewis, mic check.
And I've said that.
Go ahead.
Hello.
No, I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, man. I think these guys. Yeah, I can hear you. I think he needs a spiritual cleansing or some sort of like ritual sacrifice of a chicken or something, man. Because this dude, no matter what series he comes with, he got this black cloud of just people wanting to hit his ass. And realistically, like I said at the beginning of the year, he is the better rider of the two riders on the BMW. At the end of the year, barring injury, I do expect him to finish much higher in the points than Petrucci. Like Petrucci is a rider that's well past his expiration date, in my view. He's still fast, but he's not at the pointy tip of the sword anymore. He's like that guy between 6th and 12th place. He's not a perennial. He's not a perennial guy racing for, the podium. And I don't see that changing, and especially don't see that changing on the BMW, because like Reese said, it's kind of a known thing that the BMW is a fast bike. It works great in certain aspects, but it still has a lot of rough edges. And if you don't know how to smooth those rough edges, if your natural talent, if your abilities can't smooth those rough edges, BMW has not been able to shave those rough edges. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not an engineer from BMW, but if you look at the killer's row of names that have been on that bike and not been able to win consistently, going all the way to Marco Melandri, back to way back, Leon Haslam, Marco Melandri, Scott Redding. The names go on and on and on and on, and nobody's been able to win a championship on that bike outside of Top Rack, because Top Rack is that special guy. And do I think Oliveira or Petrucci are either one of them a special guy? Petrucci definitely is not that special guy, dude. And Oliveira, he can be a really good rider, but he's not going to develop that bike into a better bike either. Right. Like they need to find that next upcoming amazing talent, or BMW needs to find out how to make that bike a little bit more rideable in all situations, not just in one or two situations.
Okay. All right. You missed that. We were talking about Gerloff a little bit. He did really well overall for the weekend. Any thoughts on your guy?
Dude, I'm always happy to see Gerloff being competitive, man. I'm always gonna wave the red, white, and blue flag. There's nothing more that I really want to see him back on a podium at least once this year, even if it's a third place. Like he's our only hope, and I know the dude is super talented. I know he's had his fair share of issues and injuries, and he's not on the most competitive Kawasaki package compared to like what Biamoda put out there with their Kawasaki engine on the Biamoda setup. But for him to still be doing what he's doing, and he had some moments, man. If you watch the race, he had a couple of pucker up moments, and he rode through them, and he was able to still get up there in the top 10. So I'm super happy for him, man. I hope Kawasaki does something, man. We've been saying this a long time, man. I don't want to see Kawasaki disappear from World Superbike, because they've been the perennial superbike kind of like role model bike for so long. Jonathan Ray won so many championships on Kawasaki, and Kawasaki's been there for so long that the last thing you want to see is like one of those legacy brands disappearing. We already don't have Suzuki in World Superbike. Honda's there, but they're not doing much. Yamaha's there, they're back there, but it's just back there.
Well, talk about Yamaha, because Locatelli look pretty good. So I think Xavi was I guess he finished 10th, but they had some runs. They've run some issues, but a couple of riders seem to be doing a little bit better in the struggles of between Honda and Yamaha right now as far as World Superbike. So there was a couple of moments I looked up. It's just like, oh, okay. I think they got the first half of the race figured out. I think the second half of the race is where they start to struggle.
They have that big drop.
You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts, TJ? You're a Yamaha guy. Like, I mean, we all own Yamahas. I mean, you know.
Yeah, no, I would, especially expecting them to do a little better, but Locatelli for sure didn't have the best weekend. I think I mean, obviously in the Super Bowl, he went down, and then race two. It's mainly like the second half of the race, as you said, is just, I don't know if they just lose a lot of grip or just something just not setting well, but it's just the pace just doesn't keep up. But hoping for a little improvement. See what happens in Czech, but I don't know. I mean, I just see Locatelli and other guys, you know, still a little further back.
Yeah, I'm surprised by Gardner. I'm surprised by not I think Xavi Vieira is doing well because I mean he for a first year guy, again, third round on a bike, he has been competitive at times, but again can't sustain it. Reese, man, I mean you guys are seeing this. You know, how do you guys feel about, you know, how the struggles of Yamaha and World Superbike?
Struggle is real, man. I mean, it hurts. I mean, you know, to see Yamaha back there, like Lewis said, it's like that second half, they just seem to kind of fall off and can't sustain the pace. And I haven't heard anything. I don't know what's going on over there. You know, sometimes we'll catch, you know, a glimpse of it. So it does hurt. I mean, I wish they could they seem to get a good start and get a good jump. I wish they can maintain it for the rest of the, you know, race. You know, and I would love to see at least one or two of them up there, you know, at least in the battle. You don't have to win, but like Richard used to say, you know, Richard says, at least show yourself in the battle of the race, not just back in the race, you know. So to see them actually in the race would be something at least promising, you know, for the future. So hopefully, you know, they can get it together and turn it around. I mean, we still got, you know, some races to go. We still got the whole second half after the summer break. So hopefully they can turn it around.
Okay.
And we're not the only ones waving the flag.
Yeah. No, I agree. I hope it does turn around. What are your thoughts, Lewis, man, with Yamaha, where they're at?
I mean, I think they're gonna have flashes of brilliance at a couple of tracks where, you know, the benefits and the strengths of the Yamaha shine best. I mean, overall, they're not going to be competing for wins anytime soon. They might compete for some podiums. You know, there's always the off chance, you know, crashes, rain events, things like that. Like anybody, you know, any given Sunday, anybody can win. But the betting odds against them winning a race this year are not going to be too high. I mean, if we go online and go on Kashi, I doubt they're going to be too high on odds that they're going to get a W this year.
Right.
But I hope Yamaha keeps their head down, keeps moving forward, and you know, I know that there's some rumors of development of a new bike and so forth and so on, but we need this Japanese manufacturers to go from rumors to reality, because we've been hearing rumors for way too long. You know, I've been hearing rumors since 1998 at this point, I feel.
Let's talk about Ducati. I mean, we were talking about Buliga and Ika, but it seems like Ducati is by far the best bike on the grid. It seems like all of even the satellite guys, they all can pull out fast laps and can at times be, you know, the top 8 bikes in 1 through 8 this past round. What are your thoughts, TJ?
I just feel like, you know, when you prove you got the best bike and one of the best riders on the bike, you kind of just use that and kind of imitate it in a way, and just make sure your riders can ride around the problems that they can have with that great bike. So I think it's just a chain effect. So I think it just falls in line that they're doing well.
Right. And I mean, who knew having, a double-sided swing arm will make things better? Because you look at Batista, who struggled last year.
Right.
He's like, I mean, I didn't realize he was 41. When they said his age, I was just kind of like, oh man, he's an old man doing this stuff. So it's a lot of the riders are being successful.
Yeah, he is struggling, by the way. I mean, he is 41. But overall, the Ducatis are, they're always in the front of the pack for most of the time. So
Just say all hail to Ducati. I know you can say it. Come on, say it with me. What are your thoughts, Reese, on Ducati? You heard the harsh comments from TJ about Bautista saying how old he is, but 41, still getting a top 5, top 6. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, for an old man, I mean, he's still fast as heck. You know what I mean? So I can definitely give him his flowers and give him his credit. But not for certain. I mean, isn't Ducati right now on a recall? Even the race teams for that swing arm?
Why are you trying to bring me down?
All right, man. Listen, I'm calling facts. They just called a major recall on them double swing arms and the single-sided swing arm for cracking. Too much flexing.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% sure.
I'm gonna have to double check that because I mean I didn't get my notice.
Yeah, I'm sure. They said they're starting to crack, so you might want to be aware of that. I figure I'll let you know since you do own a Ducati.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but until it goes chuck down the road, they seem to be the best bike on the grid by a little bit.
They are. You're on the best bike. You're on the fastest bike out there. I mean, hands down. We give you it's as we call it, the change of the gods. Everybody gets their time up top. It's Ducati's time.
All right.
It is their time. It's their time.
I can I can see. I mean, from what the single-sided swing arm, the girth of that thing to what the double-sided, I can see they can add a little bit more aluminum or whatever it is that they add. Putting in there.
I hope so.
What are your thoughts, Lewis, man, on Ducati? It seems like hands down by now it's their championship to lose.
It's actually, this is funny because I was having a conversation with some people from Italy that have been to like BR46 training academy events at racetracks where like the guys on Ducatis are racing V2s and the guys on other manufacturers are racing the bikes that their particular manufacturer gave them. So whether they're R1s that they're racing or RSV4s or whatever the manufacturer they race for gives them. And the guys on the Ducatis smoke everybody. So like these are MotoGP riders on pretty much stock bikes minus maybe Olin suspension, a little bit of suspension setup, but stock bikes. And then the another MotoGP racer on an RSV4 can't keep up with the MotoGP races on the Ducati V2s. Wow. And another MotoGP racer on an R1 can't keep up with the MotoGP racers again on the Ducati V2s or the V4Ss. And like this just goes to show how great a stock bike these guys are making, that the best riders in the world that can get the most out of a bike are smoking other guys that are actually better than them when they're on a better bike. So all things being considered, like you got to tip your hat to Ducati, which I hate to do. I hate to do it. Mm-hmm. But you got to tip your hat to them. They have invested the money. They've invested the time. They keep developing the bike, even though they keep devaluing their bikes every 2 years, because every 2 years a better version of the bike you have comes out. So 4 years from now, your bike is worth half what it's worth because there's a brand new one that's way better than one you have. But at the same time, that's good because they're pushing the envelope. If they stay stagnant and other manufacturers start to catch up, then they're going to lose their competitive edge. And they don't want to lose their edge. They keep investing. They're doing what all the Japanese bikes used to do from 2000 or from 1995 to 2010. Every 2 years, there's a mid-season or mid-model upgrade. Then there's a full upgrade every 4 years. And then there's this and there's that. Like they're doing the business model that all the Japanese manufacturers used to do through the 90s and the early 2000s.
And
it's helping them because guess what? They're selling a ton of bikes. They don't have, side by sides. They don't have personal watercraft. They don't have anything else. They've got what, 5 models of motorcycles, and all 5 models are selling.
Yeah. I mean, is it just because they just still, I wouldn't say still, but they love motorcycle racing. They love racing. Is that what it comes down to when you look at coaches, you look at players, when they're pushing the envelope to just be better? They're not worrying about anything else. There's no bottom line. A good example is Guy Martin, right? He's a good example of somebody who just loves the sport. He don't care about none of the stuff that Casey Stoner hated. All the fluffy, the lights, the glitz, none of that. Just want to go out there, give me a fast bike, and let me see what I can do. Is that what it comes down to at this point? Is it just too many suits in between the guys making the bikes and the guys riding the bikes?
I mean, the too many suits is one thing, because there are a lot of suits. You want to make a profit. You want to be profitable. You look at different markets. You try to make motorcycles to meet the needs of different markets. Ducati has a completely different, obviously they have a competitive streak to them. They want to be the best. They want to know people, but they've also built a culture around their bikes that support the product. You got these Ducati riders clubs that are like 30, 50, 150 people deep in cities all over the U.S. You've got these dealerships that are putting on track days for just people that are on Ducatis. You've got this whole, they've created their own little ecosphere of racing dynamics, of pride in the brand. And it's showing. We're going to keep making better bikes. And our customers are going to keep buying them because they know that these are the best of the best. And even though
they got tired of being compared to guys going to the coffee shop on their Ducatis.
I mean, let's be honest. 99% of V4Ss don't see a lean angle further than that. I'm out here in California. I can't tell you how many square tire Ducatis I see out here. The center's flat as shit and the sides are brand new.
I mean, I can agree to that. I can agree to that.
But you go to a coffee shop and there's 15 Ducatis. Even if the center of the tires are all flat, they still bought 15 Ducatis. Yeah. They still bought 15 V4 or V4Ss. They spent, $25,000, $30,000 on each of these bikes. But then I see a shit box, 10-year-old Kawasaki, and it's like that's one shit box 10-year-old Kawasaki that's probably been sold 3 times since it was originally sold as new. And all these other Ducatis, they're all within the last 2-3 years. They're all brand new.
Bro, I don't know how, I see these people ride these Lamborghinis and V4Rs. They're buying them like they're R3s.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? If you can afford them, great. If you can't afford them and you're willing to go into debt for them, great also. Life decisions. We all learn from our mistakes. But again, at the end of the day, Ducati is still selling a lot of bikes. They're still doing their thing, whether it's here in the U.S. or worldwide. They've set themselves as a prestige brand, like an aspirational brand. It's a brand that people that have other bikes, even if they hate the bike, they're like, oh man, someday I would like to buy a Ducati. I'll just wait until it's used. But at someday, it's aspiration. I want to have a Ducati.
Right. Ducati is the 80s cocaine.
Yep.
Well, Ducati does buy from working at the dealer and used to work at the dealer. Ducati does buy deep too. They do buy deep. You can have a kind of a low weird credit score and they'll still approve you. And you get a lot of guys that will. When I used to work there, there was the same saying that used to go, why should I buy this bike at $20,000 when I can go $4 more grand? I can go buy that V4 and be part of an elite group.
Very elite.
Yep.
That was it. And then you got to remember Ducati, right? And then Ducati they're bringing what, 5,000 bikes in to the States. 5, 6. You know what I mean? Yamaha R1 they brought in? Yeah, they're bringing more than that, but I'm just giving an example. You know what I mean? Yamaha's brought in 2.
Well,
That's
R1s, yeah.
That's $2,000. That's it.
And how
2,000.
many R6s? 20?
Yeah, they're
And
not
they're all
bringing like a
sold
lot
out.
of them. They're all sold out already. And literally, from talking to the DMs of Yamaha, they're like, the demand is so high, but normally we used to get 10,000. Now we're getting 2,000.
Right. Yeah,
It
but you know,
sucks.
and it goes to what Lewis was saying, what Ducati does to continue to grow the brand. I mean, like, you know, Yamaha needs to do that. Honda needs to do that. You know, more to grow the culture, because they're like, everyone loves Honda and Yamaha and Suzuki, and if they I'm not sitting here saying to do what Ducati's doing as far as riders clubs and track day stuff. I mean, Aprilia's doing it, and Aprilia's growing, so there's something to be
No,
said for that.
you're 100% right. I mean, I've had this argument with the guys over there inside the corporate office, and it's goes up a little bit higher, and they're talking about it's from the Japan area. I'm like, when you go buy a Ducati, you feel part of a group. Lewis knows about this. Like, you buy a Ducati, there's a riders club, there's certain things you can do. You go to, to MotoGP, you got your own little whole section. Yamaha used to do that. You used to buy a Yamaha, and automatically you get a free membership to Nesba. You would just automatically get a free membership to Nesba. They would take care of you. They would do certain things. Now it's like, oh yeah, here's your bike. Get the hell out my face. That's pretty much what they do. It's like they don't buy into, like you said, they don't buy into the culture right now, and that's what they need to do.
Okay,
I mean, Yamaha doesn't even sell like branded apparel anymore. They used to sell jackets. They used to sell gloves. Like, they used to really, similar in a similar way, in a smaller way. Yamaha had the same thing, and this comes from the Harley Davidson mentality. Harley Davidson's all about getting you in a Harley, getting you into the Harley Riders Club or the Hogs, the Harley's owner groups. Getting you into that atmosphere where you're around like-minded people that are on the same bikes, wearing the same stuff. Their dealerships were, 80% of the dealership was T-shirts, hats, and other things to brand yourself a Harley Davidson rider, as well as the bikes, as well as this and that. And right now, Ducati's just doing it better than everybody else. They're just, really selling the bikes, but selling the culture around the bikes. I'll tell you what, man, Harley Davidson, I think, used to be like the number one tattoo of a brand on most people's body. Like, the most tattooed brand in the world was Harley Davidson. And now, like, Desmo or Ducati, it's probably like up there in the top 10 most requested tattoos. And that goes a lot, man. When you're willing to put the ink of another company's brand on your body,
yeah, bro,
that's different.
I need to get training from them salespeople. I don't want to sound like that. Come on, you can do it. Just put Rexy 45 right there.
Rexy 45 right there.
What's the second most tattoo? Is it Suzuki? I always seen that.
Nah. Suzuki is it's the second. It's the most requested tattoo after you're shit-faced drunk.
Yeah, pretty much.
Suzuki's like Father's Day, the worst holiday. That's what that is.
Speaking of, let's talk about Super Sport a little bit, because I feel bad for is it Can Chu? Can Chu's in Super Sport, and Dennis is in MotoGP. I feel bad for Can, because he's talk about a killer and fighting. This I don't know him, but I've never seen another rider or another person this unhappy about second place. It's literally it's like he must throw away all his second place trophies, third place trophies. If it's not a first place trophy, he doesn't allow himself to smile. And there's so many riders around him that's just giving him a hard time. And it seems like it's just him against those riders. What are your thoughts on Super Sport class and where that is? Because really it should have been, after Manzi left, it should have been his championship to lose. But it kind of seemed like he just never grabbed the baton.
I felt like that race was good. I mean, I know race one, aren't you doing really well, and then just to sum it up, coming, I think like the second or third last corner, he just got basically mugged, and two riders passed him. You see if one rider comes through, and then someone's right behind him right after that. So you go from first and then to third. So he almost got fourth. Very close, but I can just see his mentality just being upset about that. And then obviously the second race, not able to get first again. But yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough, man. Especially with it was getting drafted and stuff like that. But
right, I would say Reese, he's similar to Canet, but Canet, at least a little bit more consistent, a little less injuries and stuff like that. I mean, what do you tell a rider when they come back in as a pep talk when you see a guy like that who in his mind, he thinks he's Anthony Edwards, right? But he's not getting the result. He's struggling a little bit. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, it's kind of hard to talk to them about that. I mean, if he thinks that he's like an Anthony Edwards or he thinks he's the top guy, you kind of just got to let him stay there. Just you don't want to bring him down, but you also don't want to oversell him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sit there and say, yeah, you can do this. But you still try to give him a pep talk, say, next time, we got this. I mean, you're right there. We'll keep going. We'll keep fighting. And, you just kind of let them know we're here with you. We're here to fight. Right. But it's definitely hard being second.
But do you tell, we I don't know if you saw the F1 movie, we only drink beer and we drink beer unless we we won, right? That's sometimes we drank champagne. But do you tell them to just appreciate the moment, appreciate where you're at, appreciate like the level of which you're competing? There's not a lot of guys that are faster than you in the world at this level. So,
you want to make him appreciate where he's at, because I mean, you could be worse. You could be in the back. You could be mid pack. You could be somewhere. You could be hurt. So you definitely want him to appreciate it, but also you still want him to keep that fire, that hunger to actually stand on that top podium. You want him to be able to taste that victory, Mm-hmm. So it's kind of tough. Like it's almost like shit. Like, it's like it's that hard level. It's that second. It's like sometimes it's like I'd rather be back in fourth. At least I wasn't that close enough. But it's that when you're that close and you can almost reach out and grab it, it's that hard level, man. It's just tough.
Oh no,
second is tough.
Yeah, I don't know how true this is, but I heard Andy Raddick threw away pretty much all his trophies because all the fight he had against Rafa and Roddick, and then Djokovic, like he was always like runner up, that kind of thing. And I mean, he got the one U.S. Open, but everything else was like a dog fight. It's tough to swallow, the Reggie Millers of the world and stuff like that. That like. You're so close, right?
Right. Do you want to be second best all your life? Do you want to know that you were second best? Like you were never just that good enough to hit the top.
Right. Hey, they say don't be so hard on yourself.
That's why you gotta love Jordan. He's one of the few people that know that. Hey, you hear all this. Who you firing in the building? You're firing the guy that tells your rider to appreciate second place.
I mean, I would talk to my rider, not necessarily to appreciate second place, but it's also important to not outsmart yourself. If you're so negative about second and you think that negativity is what's going to push you over to the top to first, it's not. Negativity has never pushed you into first place. It might motivate you for a short time, but at the end of the day, you know what? You got a second. It is what it is. Let's prepare for the next race. This race is over. There's nothing we can do. If you carry that from race to race as a motivation, it's not necessarily going to make you faster. Right. It might actually make you do some stupid things. It might make you push when you don't need to push. It might make you try to do a lunge that you don't need to do early in the race. Like every race is its own it's its own lifespan. And once the race is over, that lifespan is done. You got to look toward the next race. You got to start from a clean slate. Take the information you learned from that race and adopt it to the next race. But don't carry, a lot of guys do carry certain things over from race to race because it motivates them. It might help them push a little bit further. They get into a one-on-one battle that last time that person got the better of them. This time they want to get the better of them, and they kind of go back and forth. But at the greatest racers in the world are the ones with the shortest memory. The goldfish, the guys that forget everything negative about the last race and just move on to the next race like a goldfish. This is a brand new race, starting from this point here. This is what I need to do. These are my markers. This is what I'm working with. This is what my tires can do from this point to this point in the race. This is what my tires can do from this point. Like, you have to reset after every race and take each race as an individual event that you got to be the best at that event. Don't worry about the previous event. Because if you start getting into your mind, this is the corner this dude got me. This is the corner. All you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up crashing, messing up your race, or even get more pissed the next race that you got another second. If you don't want to keep the trophies, don't keep the trophies. Throw them away. Throw them in the garbage. Wipe your ass with them. Do whatever. But when you come into the next race, if you're sitting on my bike, I want you to have a clean slate. Worry about the race today. The race yesterday, we can't do anything about it. It's over. Okay. That's what I tell my riders. That's what I would tell a professional, and that's what a professional rider, how they should approach every single race. Every single race is a new opportunity to do better.
Right. Now we'll go around the horn on a couple of things. Is ZX Moto are they the turtle in the story? Because I know he had a mechanical on Sunday, but man, they looking good. What's going on with you? We talked about the V2 as far as the MotoGP riders riding a bike. What's going on with Ducati in Supersport? Because it seems like everybody's smacking up the Ducati. I mean, Messi is trying, but the factory guy. Is there a factory bike in the Supersport? I don't even see the factory guy. Is it no factory?
Nope.
That makes sense then. What are your thoughts, man, on what's going on, TJ? ZX Moto.
I just don't think the trickle down to the Ducatis yet in the Supersport with all the data. But yeah, it's very impressive to see that ZX Moto, the 800, just be on top. I mean, we've been seeing the ZX Moto kind of often. And Jim being a newer manufacturer out there in this racing community, it's crazy to see that they're out there. The R9s look good. I'm not sure why the V2s not doing that well, but I'm sure they got the help behind them with Ducati and the money.
Right. Yeah, and I'm excited for Arenas. I'm excited because he struggled in Moto 2 for a while. After doing well in Moto 3 as well. So I'm happy that he's a rider that figured out how to run up front. What are your thoughts, Reese, on you're going to order your VX Moto? You're going to be starting a franchise in Orlando?
Nah, but like Lewis said, man, the Chinese are coming. You know what I mean? They are definitely coming. But, I mean, they look good for what they are. They definitely look good. It impressed the hell out of me. It's still yet to be determined, like fully. But I don't know what's going on with the V2s. I mean, they're like they just having their issues up and down and struggling. I know with the R9s over there, they opted for, to keep the swing arm and lessen the RPMs. So we'll see what they do.
All right. Hey, Lewis, what are your thoughts, man? I thought Philip Erdl was on a factory, but the Aruba factory pulled out in Supersport for this year?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
I believe there's no... But I also... So here's and again, maybe I misheard something during the broadcast this past weekend because I watch it on I watch the Spanish broadcast because the Spanish broadcast tends to drop a lot more dimes than the English broadcast. The English broadcast is a little too sanitized for my liking.
I gotta change up my
I know, serious.
You got to get the translation at the bottom. So during the Spanish broadcast, what I heard was that the ZX Moto is supported by Evans Brothers Racing. Evans Brothers Racing if I remember correctly, used to be the manufacturer, the bike builder for a small team called Tenkate, who
Okay.
used to crush in super sport. So if ZX Moto is actually using Evans Brothers Racing as their motor builder and their support team, now it kind of like, all right, I can see why these guys are super fast, because these dudes at Evans Brothers Racing make some of the fastest super sports that have ever existed.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
because that bike looks bad, man.
Yeah, they were building the R6 motors that were killing that class when the R6 were the top of that class. So whatever, they're great at building motors. And if it is true, if they're getting support from Evans Brothers, then now I understand why this ZX Moto bike is doing as good as it's doing. Because those guys can build a hell of a motor. They can build a hell of a bike.
All right, say less.
Yep.
Speaking of, we got MotoGP this round in France, and we thought you might have got a DNF. I changed the rules at the beginning of the show to say you have to be on air. And I got to change it and say you have to be on air 5 minutes before the show starts recording.
I didn't want him to show up. I needed to jump over Lewis to get back out of last place. I don't know how I ended up there because
even with my DNFs, I'm still towards the top.
Nah, the Marquezes are killing me.
Let's talk, guys. I mean, what are we in round 4? MotoGP. What do you expect to see this barring weather? What do you expect to see? Who needs to show up? Who you think is not going to show up? And all that fun stuff. We'll start with TJ.
Who needs to show up? Fabio needs to show up because it's home round. Zarco needs to show up again, just for the fans.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll say Marc Marquez needs to show back up to get back to where he wants to be. I'm sure this is not how he planned on this season going. I know he's still close to the top, but yeah, I'll say they need to show up. I'll say also Pecco.
Right.
But yeah, as this season is going, it's kind of predictable, but kind of unpredictable. So kind of don't really know who's going to come out on top really. So as far as race by race.
I agree with you that Marquez needs to show up, and one of the few records in the last 5 years that Pecco's holding, he was the only person that was able to defend his number 1 plate. So what are your thoughts, Reese, man? What are you looking to see? You agreeing with what TJ's saying that these guys need to show up, or maybe some of the guys towards the bottom 10 that needs to kind of get a little bit more?
I'm agreeing with TJ 100%, man. The Marquez needs to definitely show up because he's damn near killing me right now. But there's it would like he said, for Zarco to show up, for the fans, the Frenchman, it'd definitely be nice for him to show up there. Definitely be nice for one of the French guys to even at least, either a podium or, put it on, the start, in grid 1. But there's a couple of guys that definitely need to show up. Digi definitely needs to keep showing up more. He definitely needs to come up. Martin's there, Bezecchi's there, Mark definitely needs to show up. Pecco definitely needs to show up. He's already don't even know where he's at. Those guys definitely need to show up. Those top guys definitely need to. Maybe Alex may show up back up again and not have a one-hit wonder. So we'll see. This season is kind of weird. It's up in the air.
Right. The other interesting thing, I didn't realize that in Le Mans, the last 8 years, it's been a different rider every year that's won. So no one has done back-to-back as in the last 8 years as well, which is which is a weird stat because, for some of these riders that dominate, you would think they'll at least get a couple of back-to-back at Le Mans. What do you expect to see, Lewis, man?
I expect to see the wet weather specialists coming to the top. So I expect to see a Marc Marquez up at the front. I expect to see. I haven't seen a ton out of Bezecchi in the rain. That gives me a lot of confidence in his abilities in the rain. To be honest with you. So we'll see, but I think it's, if the weather stays where the way it looks like it's going to stay, Marquez is a wet weather specialist. He's a guy that always times his bike changes just to the right time. He's probably in the wet weather, he's probably the most calculated rider out there.
Yeah,
I know that, fans are going to think that Zarco has a chance because he won last year because it rained and because of the mixed conditions. Honestly, I think Zarco is going to have a giant taste of gravel. Like I for some reason, I just have a feeling that he's gonna collect a lot of gravel this weekend. Just because last time this year, he had a great event, and he's just had this thing where he kind of overextends himself. So I think this weekend we'll see Mark doing well. We might see Acosta doing well. And if I had to pick a black horse, actually somebody has nothing to lose, it might be the time for Johan Zarco to show through, man.
Okay.
If it rains, the Yamaha has the ability to, get up there, and Zarco knows how to ride this track.
You mean
Quartararo.
Okay, just checking.
So I would say Marquez, Acosta, Quartararo.
Okay, all right. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to digesting what you said, Lewis. But it's going to be interesting to see what happened this weekend. I was talking about this with some of the other guys on one of the shows, and one of the guys brought up something I didn't even think about, but we talked about Agura going to Yamaha, and so I posed the question like, what could have happened for Agura not to stay with go to Honda in the first place, and I forgot the year he was the year before he won a championship in Moto2, he was on the same team, but just in Moto2 and didn't win it. So do you guys think that there was like a spat because he didn't re-sign him, or he left or something, right? So something happened that didn't stay on. So is this more of a personal thing? Why Agura is not signed with Honda in the oil company?
That's interesting. I know one thing is Agura doesn't say much, and it's kind of working to his advantage right now. So. I don't know if he's holding a grudge or not, but as Lewis was saying on the last show, you have an opportunity to get a factory seat, and that's where the money's at. Try to go take it and just adapt to the surroundings from there. So, so yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if that has something to do with it or not.
Right. What are your thoughts, Reese?
I mean, it's kind of weird. I don't like TJ said. I don't know if there's a grudge there. We'll never know. It's inside. But he said like Agura doesn't speak much. He kind of keeps to himself. He keeps quiet, which is good in a sense. You keep out of the media, keep a lot of things in house, which needs to be in house.
AKA Spanish.
Right. He's not that. So he does keep to himself. And then again, it's that factory seat. That factory seat everybody wants. Everybody wants that factory seat, no matter what it is, no matter how it is. That factory seat does play a big part in everybody's, picking. If you can get it, they're going to take it.
Right. Well, Quartararo is leaving it. What are your thoughts, Lewis, man? I mean, this is this some conspiracy, or there's some validity towards why Agura didn't go with Honda?
Well, I think one of the reasons he didn't go to Honda is because if the rumors hold true, and Jorge Martin is going to be on the factory Honda, and then his teammate, let's say you end up being his teammate, whoever Jorge Martin's teammate is a placeholder for Diego Moreira, because Honda didn't pay all that money to bring Diego Moreira into a satellite bike and leave him there forever.
Oh, so
Like their hope.
Yeah, but I think Martin's supposed to be going to Yamaha next year.
Yamaha.
Quartararo.
He's linked there.
Or Quartararo.
Oh, Quartararo. I'm sorry. Yeah, Quartararo is going to Honda. Yeah. So whoever is going to be his teammate is going to be a short-term solution, because I don't think Honda paid all the money to get Diego Moreira onto a Honda to keep him on a satellite bike forever.
Right.
You know, so if I have the opportunity to go to Honda or Yamaha, Honda is the better package right now. Hopefully Yamaha comes along. If I go to Honda, my teammate is going to be Quartararo, but I might just be a placeholder, because there's this young kid, Diego Moreira, that they really want to put on the factory bike.
Right.
Like they didn't, you know, so now your expectations at Honda are going to be very, very high, because if you don't meet those expectations, you got this young kid that's ready to take your spot. Whereas if you go to Yamaha, let's be honest, expectations are high, but they're not that high, because they know that their bike is behind the 8 ball.
You know, no disrespect to Diego Moreira, but like Igor won a world title too, Moto 2. You know what I'm saying? He's has a better record as a rook coming out than Diego
on a significantly better bike.
Come on, here we go again. Listen, man, just because my blood. Go ahead.
Think about it. No, but seriously, think about how Aprilia riders have done in general over the past 2 years, and how Honda riders in general have done over the past 2 years. We've only had 1 or 2 flashes of brilliance for Honda. One was a rain race that was won by Johan Zarco, and then a couple of top 10 finishes. But the Hondas haven't been doing that great. Whereas the Aprilias, every single guy in Aprilia has won a race, except for Agura. Even Fernandez, what's his name?
Fernandez, you're right.
Fernandez.
Yeah.
He won a race.
Yeah, finally, but he did.
But still, he would have never won that on any other bike. He's on the best bike on the grid. So let's see what happens when he's not on the best bike on the grid.
Yeah,
you know, you're taking a big gamble taking him, because right now he looks great because he's on a great bike. What happens when he has to work around the struggles of a bike? Is he going to be able to do? Is he going to end up like Diego Moreira, where he's struggling on a bike that's not a great bike? Now you put him on a Yamaha, it's not a great bike. He's not going to be doing the same thing he's doing on the Aprilia. So for Agura, I don't think it has anything to do with like past anything. It's, hey, I got a contract in my hand for a factory ride with Yamaha. Even if I finish in 10th place every race, I still get factory money. I still get all the notoriety. Everything gets paid. I'm making a lot of money, and I got a great opportunity. You know, what is it? 1 in the hand versus 6 in the bush? I got 1 in the hand right here, man. I'm signing this contract.
It depends on the bush.
Man. Who knows what's in the bush?
With that, guys, we're gonna get out of here. But let's I think we all know the scores from last time. But let's go around the horn and you know, call out who is your picks for the sprint and for the main race. And TJ, do you need time?
Do we know the weather this weekend?
Wet.
Rain.
Don't lie to me.
Rain. Possibility of rain all weekend.
Right. I think I'm gonna still go with Marc Marquez. I'm gonna go with. I still think Bezecchi's gonna find his way. You know, and then I think Pedro Acosta is gonna be up there. I've seen his results from the past couple of years, so I think Pedro will be up there. I think that'll be for the GP race. For the sprint, I want to say Mark, Jorge Martin, and let's say Zarco.
Okay. I would have picked Zarco for the long race, but all right. What do you thought, Reese? What do you got?
I got Mark in the sprint. I got I'm gonna go with Martin, and I'm gonna go with Zarco.
Okay, that's not bad.
The GP, I'm definitely still gonna go with Mark because he knows that. I'm gonna go to. Bez hasn't shown nothing on Saturdays, but maybe he can show something on Sunday. So I'm gonna have to get Bez in there, and I'm gonna have to go with with maybe Agora. Let's go Agora.
All right, I like that. All right, Lewis. I mean, I think you got some decisions to make.
Yep.
I mean,
So for the sprint, I'm gonna go Mark Bezzecchi Acosta for the sprint, and for the race, I'm gonna go Mark Acosta and Quadraro.
Okay.
Ooh.
Whoa. All
Going to
right.
Yamaha.
That's what's up.
I think Saturday is gonna be a shit show with the rain, and if it stays that way, like I really think this is, Quadraro is dying to win. That hometown half a second is a real thing, and in the rain, all things being equal, I think he's gonna make up that gap that he has to the other bikes that he can't make up in the dry. He can make it up in the rain.
Okay. All right. I like the sound of that. Because you picked Quattararo in the sprint, I'm going to pick Zarco in the sprint. I wasn't going to pick him, but I'm going to pick Zarco in the sprint. I'm going to pick Mark in the sprint, and I'm going to pick Martin in the sprint.
Okay.
In the main race, I'm all Aprilia. Bez, Martin, Agura.
Oh, man, lockout.
There's gonna be a lot of crying on Sunday.
A lot of rain.
They didn't let me down last time.
Gods are gonna be crying on Sunday, man.
Yeah, Aprilia's
that track is gonna look like an ice skating ring.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That's what makes it fun. We gotta show up, and well, we don't have to show up. We just gotta watch.
Exactly. I just gotta watch. Then I got a flight. That's it.
Right. And make it happen. Looking forward to it. It's nice to have motorcycle racing back. I want to thank you guys for coming on. TJ, Two Wheels and Coffee, Reese from Attack Yamaha, the real Luis Ortega, the numbers guy. My name is Rex 45. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.